Well, I'm figuring out how it works. I figured out where the laundry is. I figured out how to get my mail. Today I figured out how to get a package. Tonight the plan is to hit the gym, but there's all these things to learn in the condo that I've rented for the first couple months in Santa Fe. And everybody's so friendly. There's a certain place you got to take your garbage, all these rules. But once you figure them out, all is well. And just so grateful for the friendliness. And this crazy thing happened as well. The podcast that you're about to watch, my girlfriend, client, and general counsel, Netta, came to Santa Fe to support me in baptizing, inaugurating this incredible journey here. She got me this beautiful necklace. Can you see? With she's so good to me. And so we did the podcast in the studio, all professional, but I forgot to do the little intro, outro. Sorry, that's not true. I forgot to do the dancing thing with her for Patreon and the 3 questions in the studio. So it was the last morning before she left. And I'm like, okay, we got to do it downtown. Let's get you your favorite coffee. Let's go to the Santa Fe Square Plaza and let's just ask a stranger to film this for us. So we did. And he was a total great sport. He was singing along to the song that she chose. We had so much fun. Okay, so I drop her at the airport. I go to meet my girlfriend, Deborah, I haven't seen her in 20 years since Los Angeles. And it's about 25 minutes sort of north of downtown, kind of in the, they have horses, so it's on 5 acres, their property. So there's not a lot of restaurants, but there's one. So we go to the restaurant, we sit down, we order. The dude that shot our video in the plaza downtown walks by me. And he's like, hey, you're the podcast lady. I really liked those questions you asked your friend. Maybe you can interview me one day. I'm like, this is crazy. This is a very small place. And synchronicities are left, right, and center. And then at my girlfriend's, so I saw, we had lunch, we went to her house. I got to see her husband. I haven't seen him in 20 years either. They took me out to the stables. I got to see the horses. And then she took me to this sacred grove in which the ashes of her mother are placed there and like a medicine wheel. And that was actually on the day that my mother died 23 years ago. Synchronicity, left, right, and center. You just can't make this shit up. So it just feels like a confirmation, left, right, and center, that this is where I'm supposed to be, certainly for now, with the people who love me as I receive this next glorious phase of my existence. So here we go into an incredible podcast with my girlfriend Netta, my general counsel Netta, my client Netta, who was so beautiful and generous and came out to see me my very first weekend in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Enjoy.
Welcome to Intimate Conversations, Season 13, Heart Broken Open, where intimacy is an inside job.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Intimate Conversations. I still keep pinching myself that here we are, Season 13. I cannot tell you how many incredible people I've had the honor and opportunity of interviewing. This is a return guest, one of my favorite people on the entire planet, one of my best friends. She has my back as a badass litigator. She's my general counsel. I've had the honor of being her coach. And then after a while, the coach of her and her husband. They've been on the podcast before a couple years ago. And I thought it would be a really wonderful opportunity to see what growth looks like. How is it continuing to evolve? And how's it infiltrating into the bedroom, of course. That's always the spicy stuff. But into her heart, her soul, her family, her work, her value, the community, her purpose on the planet. So I love you. Welcome, Ms. Netta Shamonki.
Thank you. Thank you for having me again.
Yes.
I appreciate that. And we get to do it in person this time.
Yes, not on Zoom. So this is even more intimate.
That feels really good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I'll just start off by saying this is being recorded days after moving to Santa Fe, New Mexico, having driven 4 days from South Carolina. 4 very emotional days as I'm letting go of the past, integrating the lessons I learned from the past, stepping into something new. And this is the first time I'm not moving for a man.
Nope.
or my son or a job. I'm moving for my soul. So that's what the integration on my end looks like. And for you to offer to come and be here and celebrate my brave new world, and to say, I've always wanted to interview you. Why don't we go for it? So we just did that beautiful interview with you interviewing me. And I said, okay, well then let's continue the magic, and let me honor you, love you, and learn from you. Let everyone learn from you with this journey that we've been on. So thank you for being here to love me, celebrate me.
It's my joy, my pleasure, my honor. Yeah, I was like, yeah. I remember we were having one of our in-depth conversations, and you know how much I love just going down rabbit holes, and I'm just a naturally curious person. And I was like, I would love to interview you. And so I really appreciated you giving me that opportunity. And then I am also equally appreciative and grateful to be interviewed by you.
Thank you. So it's been about 20-ish years, a little under. I think Gabe was maybe 3 when I first met you. He's 22.
Yeah, we actually met, as I think about it, we actually met, I think I said today 2006, but no, I think we met in 2004.
Okay, so he was
2 decades.
He was 1. Yeah. So it's a long time, 2 decades.
A long time.
I've been at your wedding.
Yes.
We've done beautiful plant medicine journeys together.
Yes.
You've had my back through some yucky business, legal things that I really needed you to stand up for me. So thank you. Where would you like to begin? Where I think I even remember the restaurant we were at, where I call it lanes. And people are often, I don't know if you know this, but they're often astounded by our capacity to be like, when you're in general counsel mode, you're in charge.
Yep.
And when I'm in coach mode, I'm the facilitator. You're still at choice, obviously. I'm not like a tell you what to do kind of coach, but you surrender to what I see.
Yes.
And then we're girlfriends.
Yes.
and we have a good old time. We went shopping yesterday, and we're going to the spa tomorrow. We have this ability to flow with power, surrender to each other's wisdom. And I think at least for me, the container is, I love you. I trust you. I'm so grateful. I feel so seen by you. What was it when you first decided in our friendship to coach with me? Because it was even before I started coaching with Brian.
Yeah, long before. So I had, I met you in a self-development workshop. That's in 2004. We became friends, and through that friendship, you just became such a dear friend to me. You were somebody that was a safe place to share things I couldn't share with anybody else. And and what I was met with was unconditional love. There was never any judgment. And so it just felt, it was a very unique vibration, and a very unique friendship. It felt, it was just, I'll leave it at that. And at a certain point in my life, and I had been doing a lot of deep dives, a lot of work in lots of different ways on tending to the tender parts of me so that I could live in more in choice in the world. And I remember I was just at this, I just kept hitting, it's almost like I was hitting a wall, or I couldn't get over a mountain, it was like this, I would climb and then I would just slide back down, it felt like energetically. And I knew there was more. I knew that there were things that just weren't working, and I just wasn't happy.
Yeah.
I had everything.
Yes.
I had everything that's supposed to make
you happy.
Supposed to, right?
Yeah.
Make you happy.
Yeah.
And I had a really incredibly blessed life, and I do. I have so many blessings. I am grateful for them all the time. And I knew that there was something deeper. I knew that there was a greater capacity or something else. And I remember reaching out to you, and I was nervous about it, and saying, because I got clear. I figured maybe I'll work with a coach. I had resistance around that because I'd worked with coaches before, and it had been kind of pointless.
Yeah.
And finally, I bit the bullet, and I told you, I'm feeling like I need a coach. I'm feeling like maybe it could be you, but I'm nervous.
Yeah.
Because we're such good friends. I don't want to damage the friendship.
Totally.
This was before I was representing you as your counsel.
Right.
That came later.
Yeah.
And so I asked, I put it out there, and we you were great. You said, there's different lanes, and there's the coaching relationship and there's our friendship.
Right.
And of course there's a certain level of intertwining in the sense that, I love you and you love me. And so when without a doubt, like when I'm representing you as your counsel, I've always got your back and your best interest at heart, and you trust me. And similarly, when you're working with me as my coach, I know you love me to the ends of the earth and back, and you have my best interest at heart, and I trust you. I feel safe with you. Yeah. And so actually I feel like our friendship has allowed a deepening in both the coaching and in the legal work. Yeah. Just trust and safety. Yeah. Because of the rootedness of the friendship.
Yeah. Thank you. You really raised the bar in terms of the kind of clients I like to work with, because I choose to love my clients. I can't not. I remember very distinctly when I gave myself permission, all this other energy came through to support, to serve. Yeah.
Yeah. And you do love so beautifully, and so fully and so unconditionally, and yet so fiercely. And, you will risk, I mean, this brings to mind like the moment, a real breakthrough moment for me, and we can talk about this, just where, I was really struggling in my marriage and, madly in love with him and loving my boys and not wanting to lose that, but really unhappy.
Yeah.
And, you came over to see me on my birthday, and I was miserable and sad about it. And I was just complaining and talking like I was a victim of circumstance. And you finally just, I think, had enough of the victim talk and, felt compelled to challenge me, to take responsibility, and it was a sort of touch and go moment in our friendship.
Yeah, it was. It was really intense.
It was an intense moment, and, but it was a breakthrough moment for me, and allowed me to really start over time to develop the necessary and loving boundaries in my relationship that could help me and my beloved evolve and grow and deepen in our partnership.
Which you have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. It was very much a touch and go moment for me as well. And I've lost friends. I've lost clients. I've lost lovers. I've lost family.
Yeah.
Actually, I've lost a lot. I really don't have family that I really talk to much. Yeah. I don't have much interaction with them. Some clients that I've loved deeply, when I speak truth, it's too much at that moment for their evolution to embrace or own. Yeah. And it's like my heart pounds through my chest. I know it's a fork in the road of a soul's evolution. And over time, I think I probably was my most wobbly with you. I'm sorry. But I'm learning how to speak truth in those moments without attachment. And I think what made it wobbly was I was so damn attached. I was attached that your marriage worked, your kids were safe, right? It mattered to me. Yeah. And when that attachment gets in the way, my delivery is not as elegant as it could be. And the source of it is love. Yeah. And it's fierce love. Yeah. And I thought, well, how would I feel by just sort of pulling back authenticity, pulling back vulnerability, pulling back truth, and just doing fakey friend. And that's never been me. So it got to that moment where we need to talk about this. Amidst my own wounds as well. We spoke in the interview where you interviewed me, where I lost my best friend to drinking and driving, at 16 years old. So it can happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's what triggered me the most. Yeah. Protection of your boys, love of you, love of Brian, love of what's possible when we do the work. Yeah. Yeah. And holy shit, I might lose a friend, a client. Yeah. And it was a breakthrough.
It was.
It was a breakthrough to face and feel a worst case scenario. And in a lot of my coaching relationships, the worst case scenario rarely ever happens, but it's the fear of it, the unwillingness to integrate the fears of it that doesn't allow us to be present and choose in alignment with our truth. So just tipping in to face that, feel that, integrate that, brings you right into the ability to speak with an open heart, which I breathtakingly watched you over the years, more and more. So maybe speak to us of what you learned, because you did an ultimatum.
No.
You were one of the first expressions I've seen, and you've taught me, you two both have taught me so much, of what does a healthy boundary spoken with love that's unwavering, unattached, this changes.
It does. Yeah.
And I don't know what's going to happen, but this is unworkable. Like, how did you get there?
Yeah. I think one of the most important things is that we get where we need to get in the timing that we are, like, in our own timing, right? Especially when it comes to setting boundaries, but really anything. Like, there's something about trusting the timing of life, which is oftentimes hard. And trusting, that each thing unfolds in exactly the right order and the right time and the right pace. Yeah. And so that first confronting, sort of forcing me to look at the worst case scenario. Yeah. That was a really intense moment. I was terrified, and the threat of you walking out the door was really what I needed for me to finally be like, stop, like, don't leave.
Yeah, that's right. I was a bitch, wasn't I?
You were a handful and a half, but it was good, right?
Because I'm like, I will leave then.
You're like, you're obviously not going to listen to me. And I was just like, what? But that was really important, actually, because what it got me out of my own way. I was in this little loop of pity me, I was sort of, woe is me. I'm so, I was just acting like I had no agency, no power, no nothing. Yeah. Yeah. And it required you being fed up, I think, and just saying enough. Yeah. For me to say, okay, hold on. Hold on. And we had built a friendship and had a coaching relationship. So there was so much trust at that
Correct.
point.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that mattered a lot. Yeah. And when I felt into worst case scenario, I realized that we could withstand it all. Like, we could get to the, my worst case scenario at the time was the relationship ending and us not being together, and how would it impact the children. And then I realized, like, we would all be okay, and we would make it. And so, but then setting appropriate boundaries around it. In this case, it was binge drinking, and setting appropriate boundaries took me some time, and it was a process. First it was like, well, I don't want to be around this, but you can still drink. Like, there was like baby steps, and different people at different points were like, why don't you just, tell him, whatever. And I was like, that's not where I'm at. Like, I don't want to set an ultimatum. I don't want to be his mother. I don't want to make the choice for him. Like, I want him to choose. I want him to get there. I want it to be led through him, right? I don't want it to be because I said something. Yeah. And so there was this process that occurred, and you and I kept working together. And I would say from the point of that first, I must set a boundary. And I did. I started to set boundaries. Yeah, you did. And the thing about setting boundaries is that our boundaries can shift and change, right? As we develop the greater capacity to set the boundary. Yeah. Right. And so the boundary, and as the circumstances change, right? As we realize, like, gosh, that boundary didn't actually work the way I needed it to. Right. I require for me to be in this intimate partnership something else. Yeah. This isn't about shaming or making wrong or, because he's incredible. He's always been incredible. He was incredible then. There's nothing about him that's not remarkable. He's a wonderful, incredible partner, great father, great husband, great person. Yes. But there were certain behaviors that just were not workable. Were not working for my nervous system, really. Yes. And then because we had children, there was this desire to make sure they were safe and they didn't learn, develop unhealthy relationships with alcohol in this case, right? And so, but this was a process. Yeah. And you were sort of with me every step of the way, including equipping us with tools.
Yeah, this is where I wanted to get to. Because I can't remember from that conversation at your birthday, where did he come to the first retreat, but he wasn't a client yet, come to the second retreat, he wasn't a client yet. And then it was after your 50th, I think, when we first started our first series of PSIs together. And then I remember, I'd love you to speak to, and I gave you assignments. I coach each of you separately, come together for retreats, come together for group calls. But I gave you the dyad. give you a variety of homework now that he was a client as well, to talk about these things that maybe haven't gone as deep as they could, hear each other and understand each other as deep as you could. And it was the one, I believe, around devotion.
Yes.
That popped things. So tell us about that.
Yeah. So you had given us a series of questions. We get to like choose your own adventure. And we would do these lovely dyad drop-ins with each other.
Yeah.
When the call felt real.
Yeah.
And we had done a dyad around the question of, what would it take for you to leave this marriage? That was the question.
Yeah.
And so, he would ask me and I would ask him, and we would, the dyad practice of thank you and nothing else. And he had asked me and I said, well, if you weren't devoted to me and the children,
right.
There would be no reason for us to be in this intimate partnership.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And by all means, and in most ways, like he was absolutely is also, always absolutely devoted to us.
Yeah.
But then we had an experience with binge drinking where, laying in a hotel room with our children, we were all sharing a hotel room, and he decided to binge drink and came back and was drunk. And, and I remember laying there wide awake with our boys, one child in one bed with me, and then the other child was going to be in the bed with him. And I just remember having this absolute moment of clarity of like, this is not devotion. Yeah. It's not devotion to me. It's not devotion to the children. And I'm really clear. I had told him like this would be a reason for me not to be in this marriage.
Yeah.
And, it was the thing that I needed.
Yeah.
In order for me to be really clear for myself. Like I've been so patient.
Yeah.
Because I love you, because I want you to get there on your own, because I don't want to force you, all the things.
Yes.
And yet finally I was like, I got to the place of I'm crystal clear that I cannot be in this intimate partnership if you're drinking, because it undermines, it's very disruptive for my nervous system, and it undermines my capacity to trust you and feel safe with you, and to trust that you're safe with our children.
Yeah.
And it was, and then when we had that communication, again, we did it in the format of a dyad.
Yeah.
So that we could talk about really difficult things in a safe container.
Yeah. And sit with the discomfort and not go anywhere.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah. Two things. I've known him since you were dating him and then married. You've been married, what, 16, 17 years?
Yeah, something like, we got married in 2009. We've been together since end of 2007.
Right. So I've watched over time the binge drinking. Mm-hmm. I've watched the devotion and how much he loves you. And I love my brother. And I remember distinctly at your birthday, there was a time when he was sort of in charge of taking care of you and the party, and then it switched, and then you had to take care of him because he was drinking too much. And I remember going, oh, there's the pattern. Yeah. That's the pattern, and that's the nervous system. Mm-hmm. And also simultaneously on a parallel track, but same life, issues around the well-being of your heart have arisen. And when I think about, like, I have another client who has had cancer and had an operation, and when cancer presented itself, the conclusion she went to was what happened right now. Mm-hmm. And my belief is that it's been brewing for decades, right? Mm-hmm. So when I think about your heart, yes, it's happening now, or the issues are happening now, but what started if we were to think symbolically, I'm obviously not a doctor, so there's physical things that have nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but the emotional component of it, what has it been to make your heart not feel safe, free, healthy? And I remember back, there was a conversation, one of the couples calls that we did, where it was very, very clear that the beauty of your relationship, the wounds he has around his mom and dad, and the wounds you have around your mom and dad, each of you are the triggers, the catalyst, but it's actually not about the two of you. It's all the way back to what it was like for each of you to grow up. And it's an invitation, again, this holy ground, this sacred terrain, where instead of blaming each other or giving up or settling, leaning in, oh, you're the catalyst for me to complete this loop that's never been completed. Growing up, never getting this from mom, never getting this from dad. For each of you, And not only could you heal in yourself, you could provide that which you'd never received to each other as well. Like, oh my God, what an incredible moment this is. And I relay this back to, and you'll have to help me remember this, but it was something about the way, if you were authentically to speak up, put down a boundary, speak your true expression, I don't remember quite what it was, you would be rejected, told to calm down, weren't valued. Something happened with full self-expression, didn't go well. Mm-hmm. And I watched all the way until that healthy boundary showed up. And I was like, why? This intelligent woman, it's very clear what, and I think this goes back to what we spoke of in our last interview. I've known, you've seen me. Why is she not putting down healthy boundaries?
Yeah.
It's not that I don't know better. It's I haven't yet developed the capacity to put down a healthy boundary and hold it. Mm-hmm. So it's not a good intention. It's a capacity, because when you put down a boundary, if they don't follow it, who are you going to be about it? What are you going to do about it? Totally. So when I started to watch you integrate your own wounds around, even if I wasn't received fully for who I am as a child, my parents did their best. I'm fully receiving who I am. Mm-hmm. And I'm having a marriage where I can speak up and not be afraid of love going away if I speak this. And there was something about that that all fell into place when you finally said, I'm complete if you choose drinking, not the family. And it was it was a boundary he needed to then
100%.
Step in, because otherwise he drinks, he doesn't drink, she's still here, I don't really need to change. Mm-hmm. And when you did that, it was like a catalyst for him to go, wow, she actually loves me so much. Mm-hmm. She actually believes in me so much. She actually sees my glory so much. Mm-hmm. He didn't take it like she's a bitch.
I wasn't a bitch about it either.
Nor you were so amazing. Yeah. And that ignited him. And I really want people to hear this, feel this, get this, that we can be the catalyst to awaken the best in our partner, even with their darkest, deepest wounds. Mm-hmm. In fact, that's what we're meant to do.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, I will say, first of all, like, the things with my heart are definitely not about the structure. There's nothing wrong with the actual
structure of your heart. Yeah.
It's completely healthy. But I'm very much a feelings person. Yeah. And, there's a lot of patterning, I think, around growing up in a household where there was a lot of love, but there was also a lot of anxiety and anxiety programming, and they did the best they could, but the way that I experienced the love was very conditional at times, and there was an expectation for me to be a particular way to feel loved. Right. And there was there wasn't really a whole lot of room to just explore what it meant to just be fully expressed as myself, because I was told all the time of how to be and who to be and how to be a good girl and all these things. Right. And I was just the ever obedient, ever performing daughter, know, and saying all that, they did their absolute best, and I was so blessed to be raised by them. So just to be clear. Yes. But what that did do was, for the longest time, I mean, when I went into self-development work in the first place, is because I literally could not tune into my own knowing of anything. Yeah. And I had been so conditioned to measure life by what was by other people's opinions that it took me a long time to learn how to actually identify what it is who I am, what I want. Yes. What it is that lights me up. And so, in partnership, I'm just a big lover. Like, I love fully, deeply. I'll love you till the end. If I love you, I'll love you till the end of time. That's just part of my gift. I think one of my superpowers is to love deeply, but part of that is also learning how loving someone doesn't mean that you love them from a place of being a martyr. Right. Where or
enabling them.
Because martyr love is a form of enabling, right? Like you enable, you just sacrifice yourself on the altar of love, right? Because I love him, so I'm just going to allow this. It's like, no,
you're not loving yourself.
That's actually not love.
Yes.
It's not love of him or you.
Correct.
It's something else. Yeah. But it's not a healthy love. I'll say that. Yes. And so I had to learn how to not do that. Yeah. And then I also had to learn how to love myself enough that, and this has been a work in progress, to love myself enough that I could set an appropriate boundary and allow that boundary to hold, even if it meant that we weren't going to be together. Right. To love us enough, to love him enough, to love our children enough. Yes, yes. To actually hold this boundary because I knew with certainty that it was a necessary boundary for the health and safety of our family, myself, really him too, if he would choose it. Because he's an agency. I'm not going to force it on him.
Yep.
You know, and so, you know, and I communicated that, you know, from a place, I was angry, but I also, I came from this place of just love, you know.
Well, it was fierce and soft all at the same time.
It was.
Like soft strung.
And he's commented about that, you know, had I just been like, it wouldn't have worked.
Right.
You know, and instead I said, you know, I love you. Like, I love you. And this does not work for me.
Yeah.
You know, I love you, and I require that in order for us to continue in this way, I can't be with you if you're drinking. I just can't.
Yeah.
And I get that there's going to be a bunch of women that could be with you just as you are now, because you're incredible. You're extraordinary, and he is. But that's not me. You know, and it's hard, right? Because you don't know I didn't know what he was going to say or do.
Sure.
Right? I just knew, like, gosh, you know, and I said, if that's the choice you make, we'll just find, you know, we'll unwind our intimate partnership. My ask is that you just don't drink around our children. You know, like, again, I'm not making him wrong. He's not wrong, right? Like, it's just, this doesn't work for me, you know, and he has thanked me for that clarity of communication, for setting that boundary.
Yes.
You know, and I see his greatness.
Yeah.
I see his greatness. I see his incredible capacity for even more, you know, expanding more into presence.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's been an honor to walk with both of you and to see him, I'd say initially do it for you, to save the marriage, for the kids. Like, he's such a man of service. Like, I'm going to do this because it's the right thing to do for others. And we got some forward movement. We got some progress. But just like that conversation I had with you at your birthday over Christmas, I had with him, Christmas, New Year's, when a relapse happened. And it was an opportunity for me to, it's like that thing, am I all in, fiercely loving somebody, or am I going to settle? It was like I was having the same conversation with you. Now I was having it with him.
Yeah.
And this is the moment. I'm like, wow, I might lose a friend, clients, this dear family that I love so much, like all of it. And if I don't do my version of soft, strong, fierce love, etc., this is out of integrity.
And your fierce love was necessary. You wouldn't have lost me as a client or a friend, to be clear. But, you know, in that moment where you put a boundary down for him.
Totally.
About continuing to work with you.
Correct.
And what was required.
Yes.
And he
didn't like it.
He didn't like it, you know, and he was on the fence about getting on the plane to come see you. And
I almost put him right back on the plane once he got here.
He almost got right back.
He
almost came right back home. And
I did.
And he made the choice. Thank God, really. But he made the choice.
Yeah.
To come see you. And then you guys had a heart-to-heart that I think was really important.
Yes.
For both of you, you know, and it deepened your friendship.
Massively.
You know,
it was another form of rupture and repair.
Completely.
It was a 2.5-hour drive in the middle of the night once he got to Charleston, down the way to the house, until we got on the same page.
Yes.
With unattachment, if you need to drive, I'll need to drive you back tomorrow.
Right.
Right? And the results
are incredible.
He had the most extraordinary psychedelic journey of his entire existence.
Yeah.
So much wisdom came in.
Yeah.
So much insight, so much healing, so much integration, so much love for you.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was the reflection I needed, that the source of my fierce love was God.
Yes.
God, Goddess, loving him, being this facilitator to hold someone to that standard of truth. I don't know if standard's the right word, but alignment of truth.
I think that's right.
It's
actually being in the vibration of truth at all times.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's, you know, before I was setting boundaries in this particular way, I was lying to him and lying to myself.
Yeah.
At some level.
Yeah.
You know, and before you guys had your heart-to-heart boundary setting conversation, you were lying to him and he was lying to you, or lying to yourself. Like, you're just not really in the actual vibration of truth.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're afraid, or this, or you're not aware. Like, you're ignoring. There's something off. It's subtle. I'm not talking big off.
No.
Subtle.
But it's enough that left unchecked leads to rupture.
Correct.
And thank goodness
Or leads to ineffective results as a coach.
Sure.
Right? Because we're not actually or an unfulfilled partnership.
Correct.
Right? Like we have, the more vulnerable and raw and real we have been with each other.
Yeah, the stronger we are.
The stronger we are in all the ways.
Yeah, more connected to self, other, brave. Oh, it's just like a whole unfurling of possibility.
Correct.
Because there's nothing being held back, no eggshells we're walking on, no settling, just, it's like a sword of truth that like opens up a whole new possibility in reality.
Right. And we're not treating each other as broken.
Right.
Right. Like even on a subtle, these are oftentimes subtle realm energies.
Yeah.
Where we're just kind of trying to be sensitive about something, where we're not sure of the other person's capacity to receive.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is actually like authentically true that must be said.
Yeah.
You know, and then they can receive it how they receive it.
Right.
Right.
I'm curious, what is the shift for you? So you've had this healthy boundary. I've learned how to have this healthy boundary. He is thriving in the ways he's thriving. Tell us about what it's been like for you, the marriage and what's possible now. Watching me grow as a coach, you growing as a woman and as a wife, and watching him grow as a man, a father.
What is possible for us, or what's
what's happened since? So we're interviewing. This is like 6 months later after the get back on the plane. We had our little spar, and he had this huge breakthrough. What's happened in your marriage?
It's been incredible, really. We have only become more intimate with each other. I mean, we had the benefit, and just because of, again, divine orchestration, life's timing, all the little whispers of that lead us down different paths. You know, he went to see you in January, and then we went to the John Wineland retreat. He and I went to the John Wineland intimacy retreat in February. You were there.
Yep.
And then we went to your
retreat
in March.
Yep.
But at each of these moments, like, so we've had these beautiful opportunities to go in deep with each other with some concentrated time and practices.
Yes.
But there's also there is a place that we meet each other that feels more patient, more honest, more compassionate, more passionate. Just more real. It's been incredible, and there's this ever deepening love. You know, there's something about being in the longer term your partnership. And if you're willing, and it requires willingness from both people, you know, if you're willing to go deeper, you're willing to do the work, you're willing to touch the parts that hurt, you know, because things come up, things happen, life happens. You know, I recently lost my father. Like we went through all of that, and the Palisades fires destroyed my hometown. We went through all of that, and his father had a stroke right at the time that my father was going to leave his body. We had that. Like life is happening.
Yes.
You know, and there's, when we do the things that we need to do to learn how to be in truth with ourselves, there's just, I think we're able to be with life more easily.
Yeah.
You know, moment to moment.
Yeah.
We're able to hold it all. And he's able to hold me when I'm crying, and I'm able to hold him.
Yes.
You know, and I'm able to have more patience when he's frustrated because I know what's happening.
Yeah.
You know, and then we're able to talk about, like, hey, like, I'm feeling like, you know, I've been a little bit frustrated. Let's talk about that.
Right.
What's happening?
Right.
Like, what's sitting on your heart?
Yes.
You know, and for men especially, where oftentimes they're not taught how to speak about their emotions. They're not encouraged to cry or show certain emotions. They're supposed to be the lone wolf, strong, get it all done. You know, to be able to be that place for him, you know, has been really beautiful.
Yeah, I remember. I remember the blessing you are for the group on the group calls. I want to talk about that for a second, but also just being able to be his sister and say, you deserve to be held. Your emotions deserve to be honored. You don't have to shove it down anymore. and just remembering these moments in some of the psychedelic integration, somatic integration journeys, where his mother, who's passed, comes, or the great mother comes. And he's such an incredible man of mediumship for spirit to come, and he hears so clearly. And then he always wants to call you during journeys, and he's, get my phone, I gotta call my wife. He just is his devotion to you, the integration of these wounds, and watching his devotion to you and his ability to be more connected and more committed has, for me, has been such an inspiration. And so I want to complete on the gift you are to our community, and thank you, and actually ask in response what it's like for you. Because I'd say most of my community are singles, individuals, I'll say, who are either single or in a relationship. And I have a few couples that have come through over time. And right now you're the main couple, the poster child couple. And you both have very full lives. And sometimes on our weekly inner circle call, this will be your time to catch up in front of all of us on the call. And it's such, I want to really reflect. It might feel like a lot of pressure, given most people are single. But I also want to reflect, it's such a gift to those who are single, that fantasy that, oh, I'll just find the one and everything will be simple. And if we have a fight, definitely, break up and find somebody else. We watch you navigate fathers getting sick or dying. He came home right after his last PSI to the fires. Had he not been that grounded, what might have occurred, or how might he have had challenges supporting the family and integrating the emotions? Like, you've been such a teacher through your existence. And showing up in the little chat, he's like, that's my hippie litigator wife, like my hot hippie wife, or like, he's so championing you,
Yes.
and teaching the rest of us what a real relationship, where you take ownership, you do the work, and you lead with love and devotion, looks like. What has it been like for you to be coached in community with your husband, this journey? So someone watching that's like, wow, I'd really like to be able to bring my husband along, or my wife along. You started alone, then he came to a retreat, then he started doing the work. What would you say to people of what it's like to do the work in partnership in a community? And then what would you say to others who are like, wow, I'd like some of that?
Yeah, I mean, that's a big, juicy question.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so it's been really a gift to have him as part of the community. When I was doing my own work, that was wonderful. And I think that the fact that I was doing my work was a necessary piece of us being able to continue in partnership as we were trying to figure out how to overcome certain hurdles, right? And we tried different things, right, before he started working with you. But once he started working with you, we were all speaking the same language. And he was doing his work.
Yeah, we were all in the same container.
We're all in the same container. He's taking the time to nurture himself, to take care of himself, and love himself. And as he does that, it deepens his capacity to love me and our children and the world. Just as when I take care of myself, I'm deepening my capacity to love my husband, my children, my family, the planet, right? Everything. And it's funny because I'm even doing this podcast. I'm a generally private person, right? And so when I was first doing these group showing up for the group calls, I didn't really show up much before he joined the group. And then I don't know, it wasn't on my radar. I was like, I just would prefer to do our one-on-ones, But when he joined the group, that actually, I started coming up to the calls more.
Yes, you did.
And at first it was like, do I want to share this, in a group? But what's beautiful about it is that you start to develop these wonderful friendships and this community where you are holding each other. Yeah. You're loving each other. You're cheering each other on. And for us, it's been to be in the container that we're both in with you. Yeah. This container of the community that we have, the inner circle. We individually work on ourselves and expanding our capacity to hold and be with things. And then we come together having done our individual work. And then when we hit a hiccup, we come to you and say, help us. Like, we've had a hiccup. which is what happened at the end of December.
Yeah.
You know, you had a couple calls with us when you were on vacation, you know, because I reached out and said, sister, I don't know what to do. And you're like, let's have a call.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there's just, in real time, there is the support needed. And I think we all support each other.
Yeah.
You know, and there's the support needed so that when we've hit a snag and things have happened, we're able to get back on track, the track we want to be on, which is to be an intimate partnership and with each other.
Yeah.
You know, and be that example for our children. Our children have had the opportunity, and my prayer is that this is a blessing for them to watch us as we've navigated what it is to be an intimate partnership with the ups and downs.
Yeah.
It's not some fantasy.
Right.
It's not a Disney movie. It's not the happily ever after that we see in, you know, movies and books and this and that. It's not a romance novel, although I love those.
Yeah.
Right? It's actually like what it means to be an intimate partnership and develop and work on ourselves so we can expand our capacity to be intimate with another person. Right? So
You're such a gift. And the people watching you go through this learn, oh, I'm not going to judge them. Oh, then I don't need to judge my partner that I'm dating. Oh, I don't need to judge myself. If we lay that all down with compassion for self and others, and then bravery, and then do the work, look at what's possible. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things at your last retreat, we had this beautiful exercise where we got to praise our partner. And the thing that really, the praise, the glory I saw in him, the one that really stood out was his willingness.
Yes.
The one I held the most closest to my heart when we had to identify the top.
Yeah.
You know, not that I wanted to rank this, but yet the top thing, the thing that I shared with the group that was so glorious about him is his willingness to do the work, to show up, to love me, to love our children, to try again, to get back on.
Fall down, get back up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like all those things.
This is a great place to complete, because that's actually what it's taken for both of you personally to be willing, and then be willing together.
Yes.
And when I counsel people in their relationships, if the willingness isn't there, it's like a stop sign. There's really no farther or deeper you can go. You don't need a perfect person. There isn't such a thing as that. But if you have a partner willing to do the work, even if they're not willing to coach with me, even if just you are, but they're willing to do dyads with you, or they're maybe willing to come to the retreat, that willingness is the door to a whole new possibility, and to really honor the bravery that takes, because you're stepping into the unknown. So you're absolutely stepping into the unknown.
Yeah, no, and that's exactly it. I think that, and just speaking of trajectories, right? He met me. I was already, I don't know if I was not working with you. Well, we were friends.
No, I think we were just friends when you guys first got together.
So he met me, we were friends. And then I started working with you for a good, 5 years or more before
he came to a retreat.
He came to a retreat.
Yeah.
And then he came to a couple retreats. And then, so like even doing dyads, like he was introduced to the dyad process in a retreat, and so it is the willingness to just come, and his working on himself looked like something else before he started working with you.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't that he was, but the things that he was doing ultimately weren't as effective as it became once he started to work with you.
Yeah. Thank you. I'll complete with this. I don't know if he's told you this story, but when I said, how is it? Because he's a professor and he got all his grades done. And he said, this was the year where I shared for the first time with my students what was actually going on. And that they reciprocated with such deeper feedback of the meaningful course they took with him. Because they didn't just learn information, they learned how to be more connected by his willingness to be more vulnerable. And I've never, in the years that I've known him, he's very good at what he does, and he appreciates what he does, and he loves his students, but there was a richness to the impact he's making on those kids' lives for the rest of their lives because of his willingness to be vulnerable about his own life.
Yes.
And to me, that's the new masculine, the healthy masculine within us all. And I'm really inspired by him.
He did share quite that clearly, but
Yeah.
he did tell me, like, the students this semester, he's been just blown away.
Yes.
Blown away by how loving and compassionate
And grateful.
and
Yeah.
all these things. And he did share He was dealing with his father's illness and all the things that had happened in our life.
And your father.
My father dying, his father almost dying.
All the fires.
All the fires, destroyed my hometown. My brother lost his home. My father lost the living situation he had, which was the beginning of what led to sort of his downhill. And there was just so much intensity, and he did share these things, I think, with his students. And what I can say just on a personal level, yes, that is the model of what it is to truly be, I think, a grounded, present man, right? The masculine is to also allow us to see the vulnerability.
Yes.
Right? Like that, to me, to be grounded and strong and purposeful, but also vulnerable is so beautiful.
Is there anything more brave than vulnerability?
No,
right?
Not at all.
Right. So
Not
it's a
at all.
sign of strength and bravery to be vulnerable.
I believe that's true.
Yeah.
And he's a reflection of that. And then for myself, what I have seen is that in being willing to share more pieces of my vulnerability, say in the workplace, for example.
Yes.
What it's allowed is a deepening in, it's made me a better leader. It's allowed for deepening in relationships of trust. Mm-hmm. It's made me more effective at what I do.
Yeah, you won your last trial. You kicked ass.
I did. Yes, I did.
You did.
It's great.
Yeah.
But what I loved was with that last trial, it was done with a greater sense of being held in a team where we trusted each other because we had vulnerable conversations of truth.
And maybe that's what caused the win.
I that's what caused the win, with the level of grace and ease and
Yes.
and mastery and
Yes.
elegance.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure, because we were able to work together and in the ways that we did.
Yeah. This win-win-win for all.
Correct.
When you do this work.
And everybody feels good about it.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone's feeling good because we know how to be with each other.
I love you.
I love you too.
Thank you for the blessing you are in my life and in this community. And I hope that this conversation has shown you real life of what it's like for relationships as a woman, and then the couple, and then the community, and then the kids, and then the work, and all of this. It just keeps rippling out. So if this resonates, I would love to meet you. So in the show notes is the Intimacy Breakthrough Experience call. It's how we first explore this relationship and see if it's a fit. So I look forward to seeing you in my calendar. Thank you so much, my sister.
I love you.
And until next time,
you.
thank you for being with us on Intimate Conversations. See you next week on Intimate Conversations. Get out there and make love to life. We're home. So oh, you're gonna walk? Okay. That's good. We went to the emergency late at night. They never saw us. We came home at 11:30. Wanna lay in the sunshine? And then we spent 3 hours there. And then this morning until the afternoon, we spent 3 hours at another vet who did take walk-ins. And she got her blood taken. And then she just passed out in my lap. And I have never seen her so out of it, dead, just barely breathing, just couldn't lift her head, couldn't do anything. And I was there for 4 hours. They came back in the last half hour to say, good news, it's a thyroid issue, and she has an urinary tract infection, and she's lost 3 pounds. So she's gonna be fine. They gave her water, antibiotic, and this medicine for her thyroid. And I started bawling because I had been sitting with her in my lap with both my hands on her for almost 3 hours. And just releasing her, like I was so preparing myself that they would come back and say, you need to put her down. Like her kidneys have shut down or something bad's happening. And I was just thinking of the past 19 years of how many adventures we've been on and how good she's been to me. And then we got good news. So we have another 9 lives, 10 lives, 11 lives, 12 lives. How many lives have we gone through, Muffin? Many lives. So, my heart, my nervous system, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. And I got home in enough time. I barely ate last night. I barely ate this morning. So I just cooked up a bunch of like Brussels sprouts and chicken and broccoli and all. So I'm eating, taking care of myself, and now I had to cancel 2 coaching calls. Thank you so much to my clients who were willing to reschedule. But I'm back in time for my 2 group calls tonight. She's gonna make it. But she has to take this medicine for the rest of her life. That's okay. You're 19. It's fine. I'm in menopause. I need to take estriadol, progesterone. I don't need to take testosterone. Apparently that's fine. But if I need to, I can. So anyways, I gotta take stuff too, Muffin. It's all good. As we age as sexy crones and lead with our eccentricities and a heart splayed wide open, willing to feel whatever the fuck comes up and know that we're held. I love you.